Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg took some heat for his comments on regulating questionable content in an interview on Kara Swisher's podcast the other day. Take a listen.
I'm Jewish, and there's a set of people who deny that the Holocaust happened,
yes,
right? I find that deeply offensive. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that our platform should take that down, because I think that there are things that different people get wrong. I don't think that they're intentionally getting it wrong.
Kara joins us this morning on the phone with more. Kara, congratulations on a remarkable interview. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you. Yep. How you doing, Carl?
So much attention was placed on that exchange and the bit about Holocaust deniers and so forth. I wonder if you thought it robbed the overall podcast of something, because there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think it obviously was a very controversial statement, especially at this time where there's questions about what content Facebook lets and does not let on its platform. It's a big deal because they do deliver so much content to the whole world, and there's a place where most people get their news. And so it's a big deal that he said that, and it was the way he said it and the example he used, especially with intentionally, was a problem. You know, it reveals an attitude towards content and what should be allowed on the platform. And I think it disturbed a lot of people, given this guy has a lot of power over people's content. That said, there was a lot of other stuff in there. Mark spent 90 minutes, and he wanted to keep talking about a lot of things. And I thought I'd really give him kudos for doing that, including issues around China, where he said, would you rather have me or Xi, I guess? Would you rather have Facebook or the Chinese government leading the Internet, essentially? He also talked about, it was just a wide-ranging thing on lots of stuff about data privacy, about Cambridge Analytica, about what he's going to do about the midterm elections. So there's a lot in there, but that one particular exchange, the 1 minute, sort of drowned out the other 89 for quite a lot.
Yeah, Kara, I think to me the most interesting thing about your interview was the emergence of what I guess I would call this Zuckerberg doctrine, just more detail around the way he thinks about content, about speech, and his unwillingness to sort of police what sort of ideas people are allowed to share. He's more focused on what Facebook is actually going to get fuel behind promoting, behind letting spread. I hadn't heard him talk about it at that level of detail. What did you think was the most significant new insight or new development in his thinking that you came away with?
Well, I mean, I think it is. He is developing. I don't know if it's a doctrine. But he is. I called him a nation state at one point, and he declined to take that on. He said, we're a company, and I felt like it's a country because it's so big. It's 2 billion people, that use this thing. And it's a community where the standards are still evolving. And I think the thing that I got out of it is that the thinking is still so muddled around what to do and what the cases are. I'm going to be going back again and again to Facebook, because with every new thing, they have to figure out a new theory. And I think they're ill prepared to do that as much as they're trying. I don't think it's malevolent. I don't think it's meant to be. I think they're not being arrogant about it. But these problems are really difficult and thorny. And I think they're, that one person who didn't finish college, didn't take enough humanities courses, obviously, because these are issues of humanities, is figuring this out for the rest of us. And you wonder whether the government has to intervene. We did talk about that, whether Facebook should be split up. Obviously, he didn't think so. And a range of issues like that. So these are big issues, and they're being decided by, essentially, for all intents and purposes, a single person.
We've talked for a long time, Kara, about their challenges with the chyron on the screen right now is Zuckerberg taking heat. And yet, Friday, 211 was an all-time high. We're just a quarter below that today. I mean, do you think the stock is reflecting a business model in which investors say, you know what, management is not responsible for what goes on?
Yeah, I do think they're saying that. I think it's growing. I think it's doing incredibly well, especially Instagram. And so I think investors feel good about this advertising model. I would be wary about a couple things there. One is that whether this will be sustainable over time, because it's gotten so big. The second thing is innovation, whether he can remain innovative. And I think that's the big question: is where are the competitors coming from? He doesn't really have a lot of natural competitors, if you think about it. And so that's the thing I would focus on: is can this group of people stay rigorous and innovative enough to continue to grow the company. And I think that's probably the biggest issue. And that's why Wall Street's not reacting, because right now the machine is working really well.
You mentioned his comments about competition in China. If I recall, he was responding to your question about the potential of breaking Facebook up, that there were pressures from the Democrats increasingly perhaps to do that. And he was saying, hey, China's going to have big companies no matter what we do, and they're going to be sucking in lots of data no matter what we do. So do you want it to be us that's collecting and holding all of this data and deciding what to do? Or do you want it to be China? Because I doubt the Chinese companies will be as cooperative with the government. How much of that message do you think this administration, that clearly is sympathetic to Qualcomm, kind of setting it up as a national champion, is going to embrace and perhaps keep the likes of Facebook from facing that kind of regulatory scrutiny?
No, I don't think this administration is going to do anything to Facebook. I mean, by the way, another thing we talked about is the Russian use of the platform in the elections. I think this administration is staying far away from regulating Facebook in any way. I just don't see anything. I think you're right. The Democrats are more hostile, and if they get in power, Facebook could face some scrutiny in that regard, and possibly splitting off part of it. Not today, though, and I think that's the real issue. And I think that was an interesting thing. It was, like I said, it's like Xi or me. You know, it was kind of funny. You know, they're so awful. Wouldn't you rather have me? And my values. So I'm not sure if that's the choice the American people really have, but they certainly need more scrutiny of Facebook and social media companies, and not just social media companies, but all these companies, because they're so powerful, and they, you know, essentially run in their lanes, their enormous lanes, almost unfettered without any regulation. I think that's going to change over time.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have earnings to play with on Wednesday night. Kara, hurry back. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Kara Swisher, Recode.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.